I've always told myself that I'll never ever be a controller gamer for as long as I live. Mouse and keyboard will always be far more superior, but not all games are created equally. Some games are more fun on a controller, like sports games or racing games. Even story-driven games like Elden Ring are best played on a controller. It's always good to have options, which is why in today's video we'll be taking a look at the brand new ROG Raikiri 2 Xbox wireless controller. With anti-drift TMR joysticks, an insanely fast 1000 Hz polling rate on PC, and tri-mode connectivity, the Raikiri 2 might just earn a spot at my setup. Give the gift everyone wants this holiday season. And no, I'm not talking about handcuffs and whips, I'm talking about CD keys. Whether you need access to Microsoft Office for school or work, or you're building yourself a PC with Windows 11, you can find keys to all of that and more at VIPorcdkey.com. The best part is, they cost only a fraction of the original retail price, saving you tons of money to put towards other meaningful gifts. This holiday season, they have extended the discount to 28% by using the code TS25. This will only last till the end of December before going back down in January. Once again, the code is TS25, so make sure to put that in before you check out. And afterwards, all you have to do is visit the user center section up top, navigate to your orders so you can copy and paste the key into the activation settings of Windows to get full access to Windows features. So inside the box, you get a traveling case, which also doubles as a charging case to keep your controller juiced up on the go. There's actually a USB-C controller stand inside the case with a cutout on the outside, allowing you to plug in the included charging cable and juice up the controller without having to remove it from the case, which I thought was pretty neat. But you can also take out the charging stand and leave it on your desk if you plan to game at your setup. But what's also cool is that the stand functions as a wireless extender, which boosts signal stability while charging your controller. You basically plug in the charging cable from the PC to the stand, then you insert the 2.4 GHz dongle into the USB port in the front, and this places the dongle closer to the controller, helping reduce signal interruption. Inside the case, you also get 2 swappable joystick caps in case you prefer something taller, and you also get 2 feet for the charging dock. The design is very similar to an Xbox controller, and is designed this way to give it a familiar experience. It feels very comfortable gaming on the controller, but then again, you would have to try really hard to make an uncomfortable controller in the first place. The surface of the handles are coated with skin-friendly paint. It's very smooth to the touch, while the back features double shot injection TPE, which feels nice but also helps with grip. Turning the controller on, you can see some subtle RGB accents near the edge of the handles, and the ROG logo lights up as well. You can obviously change the colors using Gear Link or shut them off completely, which will boost the battery life up to 50 hours, assuming you have the audio and vibration also turned off. If you look closely, you can actually see tiny Xbox and ROG logos, which I thought was a nice little touch. And overall, the controller is very reminiscent of an Xbox controller. Aside from that, the buttons are spaced out nicely, and the triggers are very responsive with 2 different modes that you can choose from by simply flicking the switch in the back. In short mode, the controller activates micro switch triggers that delivers fast, crisp clicks with tactile feedback, which is ideal for FPS and competitive games. In full mode, the controller activates analog triggers, which delivers gradual input, which is ideal for racing games since you can control the throttle and the brakes of your vehicle. The TMR joysticks have a concave top and anti-friction rings for more accurate and smooth control. However, you can swap them out for taller joysticks if that's more your playstyle. Speaking of playstyle, the Raikiri 2 was actually designed to work flawlessly with the ROG Xbox Ally handheld. That's what these 2 buttons on top are for. One is for the shared command center, and the other is for the library, giving you seamless transition into the console menus. The one thing I don't quite like about the controller are these 4 buttons in the back. I find myself constantly hitting them while gaming, since my middle and ring fingers sit on both the triggers. I'm accidentally hitting them all the time. Luckily, the keys are not programmed by default, so I just left them that way, but you can actually remap each trigger using the GearLink web app, which we'll take a look at more later in the video. Next to the 4 rear buttons, you'll find 2 more switches. One is to switch between Bluetooth, dongle, and wired, while the other switches between PC and Xbox. There's also a little compartment behind the controller where the dongle is stored, and you can plug this into your Xbox, PC, or ROG Xbox Ally. Latency is one of the reasons why I try and avoid playing competitive FPS games on a wireless controller, because I can feel the input lag. But the Raikiri 2 is the exception because it has a 1000 Hz polling rate. I don't even remember the last time I played on a controller this responsive. Like, it's able to keep up with my movement, my reaction times, even my aim is pretty good on a controller. Obviously, if you want the fastest connection with the lowest latency, wired is still the way to go. However, it's not that far off when you compare it to the 2.4 GHz dongle. I mean, we're talking about a mere millisecond difference, which you won't be able to even tell during gaming. I do love the fact that you don't have to download any software to update the controller or even customize the settings, because everything is done on ASUS's web-based software called GearLink. Once you plug the controller into your PC, you have access to more settings. Under the trigger menu, you can adjust the pressure level of the rear triggers in two different ways. You can either directly adjust the bar near the bottom or through the trigger buttons themselves. I personally like using the trigger buttons on the controller because you can actually feel the difference in real time as you adjust it to your preferred pressure. Now in the stick menu, you can adjust the sensitivity of both joysticks to match your playstyle. You can either select from a few different presets or you can set your own curves. I personally left it on linear since I play a lot of FPS games and I need the consistency for accurate aiming, but if you play MOBA or adventure games, the more aggressive curves might be a better fit for you. Rear button settings is pretty self-explanatory. Over here you can remap the buttons on the controller and even set shortcuts to joystick sensitivity if you need to change them on the fly during a match. And finally, you can customize the vibration on each handle separately, which I thought was pretty cool. I do like keeping vibration on when playing racing or adventure games, but I usually leave this off during comp as it's a bit distracting. Now there are a few more options you have access to, like battery settings, lighting, and calibration, which is recommended after prolonged use just to make sure the controller is still functioning accurately. I do think the price is a little high for a controller, but when you factor in the specs and the features, it sits right next to its competitors quite nicely. Also, most other wireless controllers like the Razer Wolverine don't have wireless 1000 Hz polling rate support. It's only available through wired. Nonetheless, this will be my official wireless controller for the setup until ASUS decides to make a white one. I'll drop a link to it down below if you guys want to check it out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.